There is a bird in your sky right now that knows exactly who you are. This isn't just about a creature flying overhead, minding its own business. This is about an ancient intelligence, a profound connection to the seasons, and an invisible drama playing out above your head. What this means for you is this: you are not just an observer in nature's grand theater. You are a recognized landmark in a journey that spans continents and defies belief. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, because what you're about to learn will change the way you look at every bird that flies through your season. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button now so you don't miss any of the deeper connections unfolding in your own backyard. Today, we're going to talk about something that most people find genuinely difficult to believe the first time they hear it. Birds don't just migrate, they predict the future. We're going to walk through 5 signs that the birds around you have been reading the invisible almanac of the seasons, what they've decided, and what that means for the rhythm of your own world. And we're going to end with something that I think a lot of you will find deeply moving, because it touches not just on their incredible sense of timing, but on the subtle shifts that impact all of us. Stay with me from beginning to end, because sign number 4 is something researchers didn't think was possible until very recently. And the final sign, number 5, is the one that changes everything. You might think birds pack their bags and head south the moment the mercury drops. The mistake most people make is equating bird migration with a reaction to a cold snap. What you may not know is that birds initiate their monumental journeys not purely from a drop in temperature, but from a much more subtle, imperceptible shift in day length, specifically what scientists call photoperiod. This steady, reliable shortening of daylight hours triggers a cascade of hormonal changes within them. It builds their fat reserves, priming them for the arduous journey ahead. It also induces a state of restless anticipation known as Zugunruhe, a deep internal urge to fly. What this means for you, if you've ever felt that subtle melancholy as the evenings shorten and dismissed it as just mood, that is not simply a psychological response. That is an echo of the primal world, a shared ancestral timer. They feel it, and so do you. Pay attention to what you hear when you step outside tomorrow morning. Are the dawn choruses as boisterous as they were a month ago? Or are they beginning to thin into a quieter pre-migration hum? That change in sound is their verdict on you. Number 2, they know the weather system's coming days away. It is not random. It is not coincidence when you notice a sudden absence of birds before a storm hits. The common wisdom says birds react to current weather conditions, seeking shelter, waiting it out. But what comes next is something even most avid birdwatchers don't know. Birds aren't just reacting to current weather. They use infrasound and atmospheric pressure changes to predict incoming storms and favorable winds days in advance. Infrasound, a low-frequency sound below human hearing, travels hundreds of miles from distant storms, giving birds a unique, early warning system that we are entirely deaf to. They also possess an uncanny ability to detect subtle drops in barometric pressure, indicators of a brewing front far before it's visible. Studies at places like Cornell Lab have documented warblers evacuating a region days before a hurricane made landfall, all based on these imperceptible atmospheric cues. If you have ever found birds suddenly absent from your feeders before a big front and dismissed it as random, I want you to reconsider. You may have been given a glimpse into their advanced meteorological intelligence. Number 3, they recalibrate their internal GPS by the Earth's magnetic field. The sheer scale of avian navigation, tiny birds traversing continents with pinpoint accuracy, has long baffled us. Not just visual cues, not just the stars. Research has revealed that birds possess an incredibly complex magnetic compass system that allows them to navigate across vast distances, adjusting for the subtle variations in the Earth's magnetic field. Specialized light-sensitive proteins in their eyes, called cryptochromes, literally allow them to see magnetic fields. This magnetic sense is combined with mental maps of landmarks, the position of the sun, and the patterns of stars, creating a multi-layered navigational system that humans can only dream of. The question is only what category you've been filed under. What this means for you, if you've ever looked at a star map and felt lost, that is not your inability to read the stars. That is your lack of a built-in compass, a sensory superpower birds possess. That is a reminder of the unseen forces that guide their journeys. Number 4. They're tracking resource availability, even miles away. This is sign number 4, the one researchers didn't think was possible until very recently. The idea of active, long-distance intelligence gathering in birds fundamentally changes our understanding of their cognitive abilities. The mistake most people make is assuming birds migrate solely on instinct, a primitive, unthinking urge. But better yet, research shows birds are actively collecting intelligence on food sources, like insect hatches or fruit ripening, not just locally, but potentially assessing conditions hundreds of miles along their route before they even begin. This isn't just a simple reaction. This involves complex social cues, learned maps, and potentially even scout birds reporting back with vital information. What you may not know is how current climate shifts are drastically altering these delicate feedback loops, impacting migratory stopover site selection and food availability in ways we are only just beginning to comprehend. It shows an almost prescient strategic capacity. Number 5, they make individual decisions based on collective risk assessment. And the final sign, number 5, is the one that changes everything. We often see migrating flocks as a singular entity, a homogeneous group moving as one. But here's what nobody tells you. Each bird, particularly younger ones, often learns migration routes from older, experienced birds. Yet, they also make adaptive individual choices based on current conditions, leading to subtle but significant changes in traditional flyways over time. This isn't just instinct. This is a dynamic, collective intelligence at work, balancing energy costs, predator risks, and resource availability. They are essentially voting with their movements. Tracking data reveals surprising variations in individual routes, demonstrating a flexible and responsive decision-making process. Studies on social learning of migratory pathways in species like cranes and geese underline the profound intelligence within these seemingly automatic journeys. What this means for you, when you see a flock of birds adjust course mid-flight, that is not chaos. That is a collective negotiation, a living, breathing democracy of survival. That is evolution in real time. I've saved this one for last because it belongs last. Everything we've talked about today has been about photoperiodic timing, infrasound navigation, magnetic senses, the science of what migratory birds know and how they know it. And that science is real, and it is profound. But for many of you watching this, the moment you find most difficult to explain and most impossible to forget has nothing to do with a study. It happened when you felt a shift in the air, a longing for something familiar, and then they were gone, or returned, exactly when you needed them. You know the feeling. Not just a generic sense of the seasons turning. It is a profound, almost spiritual connection to their journey, a mirroring of your own internal landscape. Before I go, I want to ask you something, and I genuinely want you to answer in the comments below, because this community has shared some of the most moving stories I've ever read, and every one of them matters. Has a migratory bird ever visited you in a way that felt like more than coincidence? A moment that stopped you, that you've thought about since? Tell me about it. What bird was it? What was happening in your life at the time? And if you found something in this video that you didn't expect, something that made you think of someone, share this with them. Or share it for them, because sometimes the right words at the right moment are exactly the thing.